Hello, my loves. Johanna Burkhardt here, spiritual teacher and healer. If you are new to me, welcome to your January 2020 reading for the sign of Leo. So if you are new to me and how I read, I'm just going to give you a quick overview. I'm reading the overall cosmic energy of all that is and how that is going to flow for those who have a lot of Leo in their chart. Okay, so you might want to check in your chart and see if Leo happens to be a dominant energy for you. So this may show up in your finances, it may show up in your relationships, it may show up in your personal life, it may show up in your business or place of employment. So wherever you have the most awareness, this is where these types of things are going to happen for you. Okay. So just be open, but don't try to make something fit that doesn't fit for you. Okay. So before I hit record, I tuned into you guys' energy and immediately I could feel my throat almost bursting. Like there was this huge ball in my throat. It was such like choking energy almost. It was quite uncomfortable. And so if that's someone, if you're someone who's experiencing that energy, this reading is really going to help you understand what's happening. So we have a lot of big energy playing in January and really all of 2020. 2020 is going to be a very intense, expansive year that is really meant to liberate us, right, into that conscious action. So as you begin January 2020, and some of you may already be feeling this, may have already started feeling this at the end of December, you are going to be being asked, right? Because not all of you are going to be in this energy. Some of you are going to be very resistant to this energy, but you're going to be asked to enter into your heart space, into the space for grace, right? And grace meaning the energy which neutralizes everything, right? This is where we get out of our own way. When we return to our heart space and we re-anchor our truth, right, of who we are, what is correct and in alignment for ourselves, what is serving for ourselves. It's all about I, right? All about every piece and part of your being. And so when you enter into grace, you hold space for yourself. You have compassion for yourself. You're not speeding yourself up. You're not speaking badly or thinking badly about yourself. You're not forcing and pushing yourself to do things that are not in alignment for you, right? You're having compassion and love for yourself as you would a child, okay? Now, what they're saying is this is not that you're going to not be having any action, right? Or taking any action, but it's very small, conscious, aligned, heartfelt action steps. As I'm going to go through this reading, I'm feeling that energy clearing from your throat. So every time you make a decision, I want you to tune in, especially leading up to the full moon. So we're coming into a full moon on January 10th. It's in Cancer. And this energy is all about the solar plexus and the sacral. So it's all going to be about those emotions, those old patterns, those old attachments rising to the surface. And you're really going to be needing to hold space for yourself, right? But as we're leading into this energy, you're going to start feeling this very early on in January, right? So there's always a 3-day window that opens before the full moon or new moon. So it really, that energy is going to be very apparent around the 7th. But even leading up to that, things are going to begin to start rising. And so this is why it's very important for you to be conscious and aware of how you're speaking to yourself, how you're speaking to other people, and what actions you're taking, right? Are they aligned? Are they serving to you? Are they something that feels good to you? Is it what you need right now? Can you allow yourself to give yourself what you need instead of seeking the quick fix outside of you? So as you move through this full moon and lunar eclipse, by the way, right? Again, potent energy. What you're going to find are some very old patterns that have shown themselves again, right? And this is the circle, right? That circle, everything begins and ends. So everything is repeating. Everything is showing up for you once again. And it's what it's asking for you to do is to make a choice to purify. to purify that pattern and say, no more, I'm done. But in order to do that, you have to be willing to speak your truth, to speak and take action for what's good and aligned for you. And for some of you, you're not only going to be walking away from patterns that have repeated and repeated and repeated themselves from ancestors, from your parents, from school systems and employments and society itself as a whole, right? You're not just going to be breaking and walking away from those patterns, but you're going to be walking and breaking away from other people, right? When you have an opportunity to break a cycle, right? Anything that is no longer attached to that cycle has to end. Contracts begin to end. So between the full moon and the new moon, you're going to be in this space where you are being given the opportunity to choose again, to choose and to really come in to alignment with your worth, with your value, and what you want to invest your energy in. What you are willing to attach to, right? Because every time you make an investment, whether it's nosing into someone else's business, right? Trying to fix, trying to give your opinion or judgment, trying to control. Anytime you're doing any of those things, you are literally investing your energy, your value, your worth, your love, your precious energy. You are now directing and flowing to this other person, place, or thing. So they really want you to be aware of where all of these investments are being placed. And for you to reflect if you need to, right? With what needs to stay and what needs to go. But honestly, I feel for a lot of you, you already know. So as we come into that new moon on January 23rd, right? 1, 2, 3, a brand new cycle is beginning. And this is going to be felt in the bones, in the joints, in the hair, in the nails, in the teeth. This is where the program itself that you install in every conscious moment, the program that you've been running, gets to be transmuted. It gets to be purified. And it becomes new again. It gives you an opportunity to align with integrity of yourself. And this is going to feel, almost like anxiety when you know, as you're coming through this new moon, right? And this ending January, this is your opportunity, your blank slate to create. Who do you want to be? What do you want to do? What decisions do you want to make? What do you want to invest in? It isn't about fixing anybody else or doing anything else. It's about you. It's about you. And it's going to be scary. For a lot of you, you're going to feel the fear. But fear, that anxious feeling, is also excitement in a higher frequency. So can you shift that anxiety, that fear of stepping into that uncertainty of that new beginning? Can you switch that gear from that frequency, from anxiety and fear, to excitement and anticipation of what's coming? Can you allow the deceit, the illusion that the ego self is placing in front of you, can you move that curtain aside and say, no, that's not my truth. The truth is I have unlimited possibilities and opportunities. Everything is wide open. Everything is love and an opportunity to be transformed into love. I'm not going to allow this veil to once again filter the lens of which I see the world through. And in doing so, in making those conscious choices, you are actually rebirthed. You are actually becoming the love that you have been seeking outside of yourself. Isn't that powerful? Oh, I got goosebumps just thinking about it. Okay. So I'm going to pull a couple of cards for you guys and see what else Spirit would like to bring through, or to validate is usually what happens here. I would love to share with you guys my recent journey through the void, through that space of rebirthing and creation. I'm going to be holding a free workshop on January 2nd in my Facebook group, my new Facebook group, The Soul Evolution. So even if you're watching this after January 2nd, click the little description box below. And if you feel called, join us, because you'll be able to watch the replay as well. And it's going to be a very powerful workshop. And I'm so excited to connect with you and share with you in a more intimate space. Okay. So I'm going to pull one more card because 2 flew out for you guys. We'll close up this January 2020 reading. Okay. Okay, so the first one that flew out for you guys was Hunter. Track down your fears and desires. Isn't that perfect? Because that's what's happening in the beginning of the month, right? You're holding space for yourself. You're seeing this big change coming. You're starting to see and become aware of the patterns, and you're wanting to see every single pattern that's not serving you. Everywhere where you're investing too much of yourself and giving away your precious energy. If that energy was dollar bills, you would not do it. You just wouldn't do it. But because it's not in the form of money, you have so freely been giving away so much of your precious resources out of fear. So track them down. What great confirmation. The next one is Mirror Guardian. Take time to reflect. Right? This again, validation, because in that middle of the month between the full moon and the new moon, you're going to be going into that introspection. You're going to be facing these fears head on, seeing where you've been doing these things that aren't serving you, and not from a space of judgment, but from a space of detachment, from a space of, oh my gosh, I am now getting to observe the things that aren't serving me and getting to choose what I get to keep and what I don't want to keep, what I want to integrate back into the whole. The last one is Druid, hold the space. Right? Hold the space. But as you notice, he's got his staff. It's a walking stick, right? It's about preparing to take action. And it has a light on the top, lighting the way. And he's going to begin taking those forward movements while holding space for himself, while loving himself through it, as he guides slowly on his journey in that energy of presence and creating as he goes, finding his way as he goes. Beautiful confirmation. Beautiful confirmation. I will be back in the middle of the month for mid-month bumps. Because I'm trying something new here and doing all the zodiac signs for monthlies, just to further be of service and really kind of hone in for you guys where you need attention and awareness. In the middle of the month, it will be just for fire signs. So you can come back in the middle of the month and I will be reading the fire signs collectively to see what may have shifted or changes or what new things need to be brought into your awareness. So thank you so much for joining me. Welcome to 2020 and namaste.